Hey, you guys. Okay, so this is going to be your writing teacher graded activity. This one is due March 3rd. This is what you're going to see. So when you get your final product, you're going to upload it under this, which is going to be in Seesaw. Okay, here's the overall instructions. Do not get stressed out or overwhelmed. I'm going to really break it down for you, okay? But basically what you're going to do is obviously get your first and last name on your work. Make sure this is not your handwriting. This has to be your kiddo's handwriting, okay? Period. It has to be theirs. That's part of the grade on this, okay? The big picture is you're going to write a poem. You're going to write a sensory poem, and it's going to have 6 lines in it. You're also going to draw a picture to go with your poem. When you're done, you're going to upload that to Seesaw, and that's going to be your assignment. This is worth 100 points. It's due by March 3rd, like I said, and it is required. It is a grade. So if you don't do this, it does drop your grade really quickly. So make sure you get this done, okay? So if you'll notice, every line has something different about it, okay? You're going on your 5 senses. You are going to figure out what emotion you want and a favorite color, okay? Not really a favorite color, but the color has to match the emotion. I'll explain all this in a minute. You're going to tell what it sounds like, what that emotion sounds like, smells, tastes, looks, and feels like, okay? All right, so let's break this down. So first you're going to figure out an emotion, okay? We do this in calendar every day, just kind of how are you feeling? But if you have a different emotion that the student wants to put on there, absolutely pick what they want. They are allowed to copy the word from here when it's time. If they are picking a word, an emotion word that is not on here, then you are going to, you have the right to write that word out. So, for example, if confused was not on here, you could write out the word confused and they could copy it, okay? So then once you figure out what emotion, once they figure out what emotion they want to do, then you're going to do line 1, okay? You're going to name that emotion. So we're going to pretend like we're going to use the word happiness today, okay? So this whole poem is going to be about happiness because that's the word that I chose. That's the emotion that I chose, okay? So you're going to name that emotion, and remember they can copy off of the learning coach's handwriting. So they're going to write that word. And their first sentence obviously starts with that word. And then you're going to end with the color word to describe happiness. I thought happiness seemed like hot pink. So that was my color. So what you need to do is they can copy the word, the emotion word. The rest of it needs to be theirs, okay? Even if it's spelled wrong, it is totally fine. So do that. So happiness is, and then the color, period. That's it. So remember, we are not grading on spelling. We're doing the sentence structure. So the capital, the finger spaces, and that period, okay? So that is line 1. My suggestion is do that on one day and walk away from it and come back and do line 2 on the next day. So the next day you'll do line 2 and think, what does happiness sound like? So you could, think, well, I thought happiness sounded like the 4th of July. So they can write the first part of the sentence, okay? They've got the word sounds. So you could either say happiness sounds like, or they could say it sounds like, and then whatever they think that it sounds like, okay? Have them do this. Have them sound out all the words. I promise the first grade teachers will be able to figure this out. We've been doing this long enough. We know how to speak speak and read first grade. So all spelling is absolutely perfect. Just make sure those finger spaces are there, capital and period at the end. Once you're done with line 2, walk away from it, come back the next day, go to line 3. What does it smell like? Okay, think what happiness smells like. Well, everybody knows that happiness smells like chocolate chip cookies. So you would say happiness smells like, or it smells like. Look at your sentence structure, make sure you've got those periods, finger spaces and capitals, and then walk away from it for the day. Now you are gonna come back the next day and do line 4, see what it tastes like. It tastes like strawberries, definitely, for sure. So make sure they are borrowing those words that they can. So it tastes like, these are those long vowel words. They should know the like, how to do that, and then have them sound out what it tastes like, okay? Walk away from it after this day, go to line 5 the next day. What does it look like? Same thing, borrow those words, remember those long vowels when you're writing those words, and then what does it look like? Sound it out. Every spelling will be perfect. Just make sure you've got those finger spaces, periods, and capitals. When you're done with line 5, walk away, come back to line 6. What in the world does it feel like? Now, line 6 is going to be your very last line. So you'll start it with your emotion word, okay? So what was your emotion word? Write that first. So happiness. It feels, you can point out these words that they can copy. Sorry about that, guys. It feels like, what does happiness feel like? I think it feels like a hug. So you write what you think it feels like. Then after you're done with that, you've walked away from it. Now you're going to make sure your first and last name are on your work. You are done. Now go back and read your poem. You have done all 6 lines. Now your poem is written. Now all you have to do is draw a picture to go with it, okay? After you've done all of that, you're going to upload it to Seesaw. You can put your poem and picture on the same page or on 2 different pages. That is completely up to you. Make sure it is turned in by March 3rd, excuse me. This is how we're going to grade. They've got to have their first and last name. It has to be their own handwriting or it will be sent back to you so they can redo it. They have to follow the directions in lines 1 through 6, and they've got to draw a picture to match their poem, okay? So that is how you do everything. If you have any questions, definitely reach out.